I always know what to say, and then I go on live and I go blank. Okay. All right. I was watching a docuseries called Wild Wild Country on Netflix. Funny enough, it was not the first time I was watching it. But yeah, I felt the need, you know what, let me just revisit, which is something I hardly do. So for those who don't know, Wild Wild Country is about Bhagwan, the guru. See, it happened in the early 80s, I think 1984, 85. He moved from India, where he had a sanctuary, to settle in America, Oregon, and built a community there called the Rajishnis. Yes, the city was called Rajishni Purim. And yeah, so it's a very fascinating story. It's hectic. Spiritual people and religious people, like, dude, like, yo, like I played back, like, it, wow. But what I like for me, like the main event, like the MVP of the story, is the secretary, Ma Anand Sheila. Dude, like, she is a fireball. The first time I watched that thing, I was like, this woman is ruthless. Okay, she's a grandma now, so like this grandma is like hardcore. Like the first word was like ruthless. When I watched it again, like, I fell in love. I fell in love with the person that she is. Firstly, she is the one that took the Bhagwan from India, where he had a sanctuary. He moved the whole operation to Oregon, and from there made the pots. She organized the people. They literally built a city. Like, if ever, like, you get a chance, you need to check that. They built a city from scratch. Like, they got a ranch and they built, in a matter of weeks, there was a city in Oregon, and they were living their lives. And you know what? It is an amazing thing, like, because it shows what humankind is capable of. What I like about Ma'anan Sheila is that she stood for what she believed in. And she was perhaps the only person amongst the group that was disillusioned to who Bhagwan was. She understood him as a divine leader, and she also understood that he was a person. But what she was true to was the teachings that the city had, the teachings that Bhagwan was presenting, and she did not get caught up in the divinity of him, but on the message and the gospel that he was pushing. Needless to say, they got to America. People were intolerant of what was happening. They didn't understand it. They didn't want to understand it. People of Oregon pushed, and the Sannyasins and Rajishnis pushed back, and it was an actual war. It was, like, it's hilarious now when you look back at it, but it was hectic. And this is the thing, life has to make a point, and it makes a point of what we are capable of, and it makes a point of the distraction that we can cause once we are aware of what we are capable of. And the thing is, if the person you are and the person that you think you are do not align, life will intervene. It will make a point so that you see where you stand. Life is always there to give you that balance. Life is always there. Every time you think, okay, this is where I'm at, there will be a task that comes along to show you where you really are. And for some of us, it becomes frustrating because it feels like we're not moving. It feels like we're not getting anywhere. Because there's things and there's work to be done. If your belief system contradicts the person that you think you are, life will show you that. Life will bring you an opportunity that challenges that belief. And if you're not sure of what you believe, you will feel stuck. And it seems like a hectic thing, but it's such a simple process, and a process that needs to happen. And we get caught up because we forget. We see ourselves as adults sometimes and we're like, yes, we have arrived. But the person that you think you are is attributed to your foundation, the people that raised you, the society that you pick things from, things that you think you like, the education that you get when you see the world and you see people, and it all ties together because your brain connects the things that it likes, the things that it prioritizes. And when you are at a point in your life where you want to act with that information, life will show you where you are. Life will make it a point to show you who you are. And most of the time, you find people like, but this is not me. I acted because... No, that's fully who you are. It's just that you refused to look at that aspect of your life. And life was there to show you the person that you are. It made a point. And people always like, no, I acted out of character. No, there's no such. The character is there. The character is you. From your education, from your memory, from every aspect of your life. It's just that you have never been in desperate situation enough to act like the person that you acted as in that moment. But then life made a point to show you how low you can go or how high you can go. We are capable of the most extraordinary things, and that comes with extraordinary behavior. But because we are so set in the right and the wrong of things, that when we think we're acting in the wrong aspect of things, we're like, no, that can't be me. I'm a good person. I can't do this. You are capable of anything as a human being because everything is around you, especially now in this age of technology. You have access to everything, every dimension. You don't have to be fully experiencing. Just from watching things, just from being an observer, you take in. Because at the core root of who we are, we want things that give us an advantage. We want things that will attribute to our survival. So we think because we are well-mannered society people, when we get desperate, it's warranted. And yes, I don't necessarily act like that, but there's no such. That's you. That's who you are. That's fully who you are. That's just a dimension you don't let out often because you're not desperate every instance of every day. And life makes it a point to show you. Life makes it a point to test you on the education that you think you have and the education you believe works for you. And this is the case with watching Wild Country. Because it was a matter of life showing as much as we're capable of extraordinary things, which like what those people did there was amazing. But once your faith or your core value or your foundation that you've built is questioned and you feel it's being attacked, you will do whatever it takes to keep it. And this is when people start doing heinous things because they're standing on shaky ground and they don't fully believe the things that they do and the things that they commit to. They believe only when they work for them. The moment it feels like it's not working, people start questioning. And that's the thing. The moment you question and you are scared of venturing into that, there's no concrete foundation there. There is no concrete foundation, and life will make it a point to test it. And what I like about Ma Anand Sheila, she was resolute in what she believed in. And she was disillusioned to the fact of the surroundings, what she did. She knew that the message needed to be heard by people. Granted, she did crazy things. Like when you look back and you're like, geez, there were terror attacks, there were like murder plots and whatnot. Because people will go to those lands to protect what they believe in. People will go through those lands when they feel threatened. But does that make the message invalid? It doesn't. It's just that we get caught up in looking at the people that give us the message and we cling to them for dear life. And that's when you know the foundation that you think you have laid, it's not fully there. Because once you take out that person and you can't stand in those teachings, then that was never for you. You just got caught up in the person. And that's what we do. That's why we find we are in religious spaces. We are in religious teachings and we hold on to people. And once we see the true nature of these people, it kind of discredits the whole teaching. That shouldn't be the case. People can give you good news and they are bad people. It happens. It happens, like by the very description and definition of what we consider good and bad. People can have a good message for you because it's there to help you in your growth. It's there to help you become the person, the full-fledged human being that you ought to be. But because we keep on looking at the people that are giving us the message, we're like, this person can't teach me anything. Listen to what they are saying. Listen to what they have to offer. Before you cling on to the people and just disappear into the mysticism of what the person is, how divine, how pure, because it does happen. Look at these mushroom churches, these spiritual churches that have been popping left, right, and center. You find that people are full on their crowd every day, praying each and every day, and then a scandal erupts. Like these people are using motives. It's a hub for sex trafficking. And where do you stand as the person that was a devotee, a follower there? Because you clinged on to that person, you do not even know. You question the whole system, which of course you should do that. But what did you learn, you as a person? How are you going to take that teaching and implement it in your life? Instead of focusing on the person that brought the message, like, oh my gosh, this person is amazing. But that person is a person at the end of the day. And this is where life always makes it a point to show you that, yes, sometimes the message is valid, but the carrier is not necessarily divine as we see. We think that messages that we need to listen to come from these divine sources that are fully fledged, that are beyond comprehension, that are whatever, but we forget that they are human too. And every aspect that surrounds us is attributing to the life that we want and the life that we think we deserve. And if it doesn't align, life will make it a point to show you that it's not in balance. It's not aligning. Sometimes it's never a good feeling. Sometimes it doesn't. It's not a happy place for you to learn such things, because there are growing pains. Growing pains can be excruciating. You feel alone. You feel unwanted at times. You feel like no one is there. If you can have your whole family, but when it's time for you to learn something and life has made it a point to show you, that's when you feel you are at your lonesome, because it's your story. and it's your learning session, and you have to be there, you have to be present in order not to repeat the same thing. And life will always make it a point because it's in your favor. We tend to go by things that we think we believe, we think we understand, we think we are these people. And when life makes it a point to show you this is actually where you are, we become frustrated. At times we even become violent because it contradicts the belief that's within us. When we see that, oh my goodness, we think we've crossed the threshold, and life shows you actually you're still standing in one place because your teachings are not coming from a genuine place, or your teachings, you're not looking at the teachings, you're looking at the people that are there. That's where we become so dependent on people, because we think the people that are here to support us are here for the long haul, but not for this stage of our lives, that we just need to acquire the information that will help us move on and move to be better individuals. We want to keep them forever, and that's when we feel at times, oh my God, I've been betrayed. Oh my God, like it happens. Some people are in your life, they won't be there forever. Some people in your life, they're only, because look at it, your life growing up. Some of the people that you grew up with, you are no longer talking to. Did you have fallouts? No, you just outgrew them. But now we want things that cling to us forever, because that is where our foundation is at. But we're not learning the teachings. We're not redefining our value system according to what we believe. There is a think factor, and then there is a life factor. And life always intervenes. Life makes it a point to show you where you are. And if it's not in a happy place, you are not doing the work. If it's not in a happy place, there's teachings that you are missing. And life, because it's in your favor, will make it a point to show you. We need to just be aware, and we need to pay attention. When a lesson comes, we must look at what it brings. It's never an attack. Life is not unfair to us. It's just what we understand as life. It's not the actual presentation of life. And life will make it a point to show us that. Because life is working for us. It's working to better our lived experience. It's working to better the existence that we deserve, not the existence that we think we deserve, because those are two different things. So when you have a challenge, look at it from the aspect of what is the point that life is making right now. What is this challenge that is being presented to me right now? What opportunity am I to obtain from this? Because this understanding of life is unfair, that's where we get to miss the lessons that life has for us. And life is, it's like those people that believe in God and covenants that never change. That's life. Life is designed to do that, to bring you in alignment. So every time there's a challenge, life is making a point. You're not being attacked. You're not being suppressed or oppressed. You're not being put down by life. No, it's just showing you that where you think you are versus where you actually are two different things. Until they align, you will forever be at loggerheads. Just pay attention. Just be aware of things that are presented in your life, of things that are coming to you. Are they really teachings? Are they really putting you at an advantage? Are they really calling you to live your best life? That's all life does. That's all life does. And it shows us the true nature of who we are. We may be in denial and be like, no, I'm a good person. I could never do something like that. Until you are put in that position and you act otherwise, you must always believe you are capable of that. Because the level of awareness that we need to be fully fledged human beings. We're not there. We are not living a conscious existence. That's why we do things and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I do not know what happened. Because you're not aware of your actions. You are not aware of the teachings that you're taking in from the world. You are not aware of the teachings that you are implementing in your daily existence. And you are caught up in routines that are not beneficial to you. And you are unhappy and you think life is unfair. Whereas life simply makes it a point to show you where you are in your life, to show you how to progress past that stage. But if you're going to come with the belief that life is unfair, then you'll forever be at loggerheads and you'll not take in the teachings that you need to move on. So for me, I wish for you awareness in your life, a level of consciousness that you are aware of your actions, a level of consciousness that you are aware of what you are capable of. It's never like when you are living your true self, your truth, there's never any right or wrong. It's what is beneficial to you. And if it's true and pure, it won't affect anyone else. Trust and believe. When life makes it a point to show you the person that you are, take note. Is it really who you want to be? Or there are changes that you need to make in your life? So going on to this week, live your best life and be the best version of yourself. Have an awesome Sunday.